Every religion you've ever heard of is, in the grand scheme, brand new. Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, all just a few thousand years old. But humans have been human for over 200,000 years. So for the vast majority of our existence, tens of thousands of years, what did we believe? What did we think happened after death? What did we see when we looked at the sky, the dead, the dark? There were no books, no prophets, no temples, no words written down. And yet, the clues they left behind are astonishing. First, we have to be honest about something. Studying prehistoric belief is one of the hardest things in all of science. Because belief doesn't fossilize, thoughts don't leave bones. We can't dig up what someone felt about the stars 40,000 years ago. So archaeologists do something closer to detective work. They read the silent clues, graves, art, objects, sacred places. And from those clues, they carefully infer what people might have believed. It's never certainty. It's the best reading of the evidence we have. So everything that follows is a careful probably, not a definitely. The oldest clues of all come from how early humans treated their dead. An animal dies, and its body is simply left where it falls. But at some point, humans started doing something profoundly different. They began to bury their dead, on purpose, with care. The first clear burials we know of are around 150,000 years old, and some were performed by Neanderthals, not even our own species. And it wasn't just hiding a body. There were signs of meaning. In some graves, the dead were laid in a sleeping position, sometimes sprinkled with red ochre, a pigment the color of blood, sometimes buried with tools, food, or beads. And that detail is the key that unlocks everything. Think about what burying someone with their belongings means. You don't pack supplies for someone who is simply gone forever. You pack supplies for someone going on a journey. It strongly suggests they believed death wasn't the end, but a passage to somewhere else, some kind of continued existence. One of the most stunning examples is a site called Sungir in Russia. There, around 34,000 years ago, people were buried with thousands of beads. Each bead took roughly an hour to carve by hand. Thousands of hours of labor, buried in the ground with the dead. Nobody invests that much in death unless death means something enormous. The second great clue is painted on the walls of caves. Deep underground, far from where anyone lived, early humans made art. Beautiful, haunting images of animals, bison, horses, lions. But some images are stranger, part human, part animal. Figures we call therianthropes, a blend of person and beast. And these may be the oldest hint of a very specific idea. That some people could cross between the human and animal worlds. That certain individuals could touch the spirit world and come back. The first hint of the shaman. All of this points toward what may be humanity's oldest belief system. It's called animism, and it's beautifully simple. The idea that everything in the world is alive with spirit. Not just animals and people, but rivers, mountains, trees, storms. Every part of nature having its own essence, its own will. To an animist, the world isn't a collection of objects. It's a community of living forces you live alongside and must respect. You thank the animal you hunt. You ask the river for safe passage. Many scholars think this was the default human worldview for tens of thousands of years, all across the planet. And remarkably, versions of it survive in cultures still today. And then, something changed. Something monumental. In what is now Turkey sits a site called Göbekli Tepe. It's about 11,000 years old. Older than Stonehenge. Older than the pyramids. Older than writing. Older than the wheel. Older than farming villages. Massive T-shaped stone pillars, some weighing up to 10 tons, carved with foxes, snakes, scorpions, and vultures. And here's what rewrote the history books. There are no homes here. Nobody lived at Göbekli Tepe. Hunter-gatherers traveled to build it, for ritual, not for living. For a long time, we assumed farming and cities came first, and then, once settled, humans built temples. Göbekli Tepe suggests it may have been the other way around, that the urge to gather and worship may have helped build civilization itself. Now, how sure can we really be about any of this? The truth is, much of it remains careful interpretation. A grave with red ochre might mean belief in an afterlife, or it might mean something we simply can't recover. Scholars genuinely disagree, and the evidence is fragmentary. Anyone who tells you they know exactly what cave painters believed is guessing with confidence. The honest answer includes a shrug. But the broad strokes are remarkably consistent across the world. So strip away every modern religion, every book, every name for God. And underneath, you find something deeply, recognizably human. People standing under the same stars you stand under, feeling awe, fearing death, sensing something larger than themselves, and reaching, with paint and stone and ritual, to make sense of it all. Long before the first religion had a name, we were already looking up and wondering, just like you. If you want history and science without the myths and the made-up answers, this is your channel. Subscribe to Fiuzaverse, and let's keep digging into where we came from.